Hello and welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like. Joining me today for this review of Acrobatty Bunny are my good friends Foxinafix and Austin Kelly. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi guys.
So this is Acrobatty Bunny, released in 1946. It's the 476th in the series and it's directed by Bob McKimpson. You can find this short on the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 3 DVD set and on the Platinum Collection Volume 3 Blu-ray set. Now, in case you haven't seen this cartoon, as it is under copyright, it's very straightforward. They're building a circus, and unfortunately, they've built it right over Bugs Bunny's home. Bugs Bunny goes to investigate, and it turns out that the lion cage is right over his home, so it's between Bugs and the lion. So, there you go.
Get a little rest without some practical joker fooling around. I'll teach him a lesson that he'll never forget as long as he...
Now what you're about to see is a remix of the original audio commentary that I had to take down due to a request by Warner Brothers Legal, so enjoy!
This is, may I say, the great Robert McKimson doing his first Bugs Bunny cartoon. Funny thing about his early Bugs cartoons is Bugs is often very pissed and aggressive in these cartoons, so that's something to love, I think.
What a debut for McKimson. I mean, I know people like to rag on McKimson a lot, which I think is a bit unfair. I mean, I know he's made some cartoons that weren't as good, but, you know, I quite like his Bugs.
With me, it's kind of the opposite. You know, I love McKimson cartoons, but I think this one is just a little pacing. Has just a little bit of pacing problems. You know, at the beginning is kind of slow, but I don't think it's bad at all. You know, but like I said, I love the McKimson cartoons.
I love this cartoon. I absolutely love it. This is one of those a childhood favorite, down to the point where when we see the scene where Bugs is taunting the lion from outside with a piece of wood. I actually did that when I was a kid. I mean, not with lions, of course, but you know, with fences, I'll just go nah 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 nah. But
it's the little Anthony torturing the baby elephants.
Yeah, yeah, of course. This is the scene I was referring to before, where I'll just get a piece of wood or something or a stick and just go nah 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 nah.
Net. No net.
Carl Starling seems to love using that she was an acrobat's daughter when, of course, Bugs is doing something acrobatic. I mean, it's pretty darn obvious. I mean, if you look in the background of next to Bugs's bed for that split moment, you can see that he's got some pictures of some lovely bunny ladies, which
I didn't even catch that.
Well, you know, great. Now, because of you, Fox, everyone's going to think I'm always having an eye out for the ladies in these cartoons. So. But these human characters are kind of weird, I've always found in the beginning, and even more so in this HD version, but that doesn't mean it's bad, it's just a little bit off, but anyway. And that was kind of weird too, when the cage was moved, that because the carrot is painted in the background, the carrot didn't move. It was a weird pan. Yeah, right off the bat, I've noticed that Bugs has a different design, like what I call the McKimson Bugs design. I mean, it's not as maybe prominent in this one as it would be over the next few cartoons.
I think some of these shots, Bugs looks kind of like the design that McKimson made for the Clampton cartoons. Like in a few close-ups, he does. But you know, in the book that Robert McKimson Jr. Wrote, I bought it recently. It's called "I Say Son" or something. It's mentioned that you know, it is a little chubbier-looking Bugs was actually designed by a guy named Gene Blanchard, and you know, I wasn't really able to find that name anywhere on the internet, but it's the name in the book, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Right here, I think he looks a bit like he did in the Clampett cartoons, but it could just be me. So
also, in relation to Gene Blanchard, Devin Baxter actually posted a comment on the previous commentary video for this, and he wrote that he has much information on Jean Blanchard, and she did not design that Bugs model sheet. The poses are cribbed from Manny Gould scenes, mostly from Hot Cross Bunny. It's her copy of the model sheet, hence her name on the sheet, so there you go.
For years, I mean, people were theorizing that the early McKimson cartoons were started by Frank Tashlin, but when Mike Barrier publicly posted an interview with McKimson that confirmed that all of the cartoons that he was credited on early on were entirely his, people started to realize that these were fully McKimson. Now, you can see on the last few Tashlin cartoons that McKimson kind of had to clean up, like Hair Remover. He's just trying to do what he can with the stuff that Tashlin left behind and get on with his own stuff. So I think with the new Bugs design, it's kind of his way of getting rid of the old stuff and in with the new stuff and, you know, starting up his own thing and getting prepared for this big directing career that was in front of him.
And it's really weird how he got this line, he's always in a cage, but for some reason he's got this super strength. Like, he could have bent the bars the entire time. Like, why didn't he? It's a really... it's a great foil for Bugs, I think, in this one. But that's just, you know, my opinion.
So I love this part with the elephant. I think this is the best part of the cartoon, you know, and the silly part that's coming up after the elephant runs away.
He's spanking the elephant. That's... I won't say more about that because it sounds kind of rude, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a guy. The guy who did that scene was a guy that went by the name of Cal Dalton. Now, Dalton, if you look at his scenes very closely, especially his, you know, stuff in the early Frisch Freleng cartoons like Hiawatha's Rabbit Hunt, which people always talk about as having really ugly, off-model, you know, Bugs Bunnies. Cal's got this amazing skill, and, you know, characters can turn and twist, and he has this amazing depth perception that no other animator had, but he just couldn't stick to model sheets or layouts really well, and all of his drawing looks really weird and ugly, but he did have a lot of skill as an animator, and I do have to give him props for the perspective work he did.
Didn't McKimson at one point draw for Dalton as well for his directed cartoons?
I don't believe so. I think the Hardaway and Dalton unit was largely made up of people that were in the Frisch Freleng unit, which obviously they took over, that weren't taken by Tashlin, because Frank Tashlin did raid Freleng's unit once he left of a lot of his good guys like McKimson. So McKimson went to Tashlin's unit, and Hardaway and Dalton were left with other people.
Do you know when he left?
I don't, but I do know that he... if you go anywhere beyond 1947, you're really not going to see much of Dalton's animation. I believe the last stuff he worked on was some of the last Art Davis cartoons, like Foxy Duckling, or some of the earliest Art Davis cartoons. I mean, Foxy Duckling and Mexican Joyride and stuff like that.
A few years later, McKimson would make a cartoon called Big Top Bunny, another circus-themed cartoon with Bugs Bunny, and there he has an adversary called Bruno, an arrogant showbiz bear. And I think that works a little better than this lion.
One thing I wanted to point out is, as much as that Spanky the Elephant scene was hilarious, another great scene is this wonderful laugh clown laugh scene done by Bugs. I mean, just Mel's rendition of the song is just hilarious.
Come on, Nero. Laugh it up, kid. You know, funny stuff. Come on, laugh!
And now on to the ratings. I asked Austin and Fox what their ratings would have been, and they both said about 7 out of 10. Me, I would rate this a bit higher, but that's nostalgia playing into it, so I'd be giving this one 8.5 out of 10. I watch this one constantly, so yeah, I definitely love this one. It's got so many great jokes. I do agree with Fox, some of the pacing is a little off, but all in all, hey, this one's still a whole lot of fun.
This is a great debut Bugs cartoon for McKimson.
And that'll do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching this commentary redo, and until next time, take care.
We're also available for picnics, large meetings, children's parties, and smokers. Ta-da-da.